My team and I have been working for 8 months to put together a very special workshop to help you develop your inner leadership.
We are showing the power of setting an intention in what we do.
It's going to be very interesting to watch them go back in time and see how creative they can be.
I think it's an amazing way to really open up a new channel of communication with your deeper self. Really listening to parts of you who maybe you've been suppressing, right? Making sure you make room for these communications. Making these connections and seeing these connections really turn into a story, something that lived by itself was pretty powerful.
Something that I would recommend to someone joining, no matter what comes up, allow it, even if it doesn't make sense, just note it, don't judge it. And then as you integrate afterwards, I think things can come to mind. So just trust that there might be a delay, it might not make sense, but just let it flow. And eventually there might be this little that comes on later. And so allow that to have its space to breathe.
On the surface, it can look awkward to see them, doing Legos, collage, drawing, but all of this has a very specific purpose. So the real purpose of doing this is to help them develop skills such as empathy, creativity, visioning, and all the skills are very important to develop your leadership style.
And we went as far as creating our own props. We have our own notebook for integration that we publish, inspired by tabletop role-playing games. We also have a deck of cards that we use during the workshop for various exercises. And for me, it's really important that the entire process is fun, because at the end of the day, that's the best way we can learn.
It's about creating awareness of what really matters to us. Understanding that the way to connect with others is first to connect with ourselves.
Through the process, like with the music and the pattern of the breathing, and by the time we finished breath work, I felt like I had overcome something and I had a very big sense of achievement, which kind of allowed me to move into the second part of my journey with a very open mind, because I felt like I had closed the door on something and could kind of progress into my next thoughts that weren't so entangled.
I've taught some of those practices in various leadership workshops I've led in the past, but I've never combined this with psychedelics, and the result is really mind-blowing.
We tend to forget that we hold all the answers within ourselves. The role of the medicine is to remind us who we are.
Let's have a dream which isn't under control. That would be within the infinite multiplicity of choices you would have.
The psychedelic journey is the engine kickstarter. That's where the work begins. And then for the rest of the day, we integrate the insights that we had during the journey so we can come up with a blueprint of our vision, something actionable in our daily life.
All of the integration practices definitely helped the puzzle pieces fall into place, or the way I would describe it is organizing TV static into an image that made more sense.
You're never going in the wrong direction by trying to visualize your future and manifest.
It really helps me kind of understand, with everything going on in my life and all my goals, which ones are kind of tied together and which ones I can kind of focus on from putting myself in that future space.
The most memorable moment of this workshop, the one that sort of struck me the most, I guess, was to realize my own limitations was exactly what I needed to do and let go of those expectations. And that happened, and that was pretty incredible.
Every one of us has something that we need to work on.
I'm amazed and I'm humbled to see the transformation and the impact that this experience has on the participants.
This workshop is for you if you're in search of clarity, maybe a renewed sense of purpose, or just relieving the stress that's blocking you from moving forward.